Hi everyone, we're at page 4 now. The last time we stopped at the sample sentence of above, and let's continue. The second sample sentence of above, of the first meaning of above. If one thing is above another one, it is directly over it or higher than it. So it's the follow. Here is the second sample sentence of the first meaning of above. A picture of the new plane as seen from above. The second meaning of above, adverb. In writing, you use above to refer to something that has already been mentioned or discussed. Sample sentence. Several conclusions could be drawn from the results described above. Singular noun. Above is also a noun. Sample sentence. For additional information, contact any of the above. Adjective. Above is also an adjective. Sample sentence. For a copy of their brochure, write to the above address. The third meaning of above, preposition. If an amount or measurement is above a particular level, it is greater than that level. Sample sentences. The temperature crept up to just above 40 degrees. Victoria Falls has had above average levels of rainfall this year. Government spending is planned to rise 3% above inflation. Adverb. Above is also an adverb. Banks have been charging 25% and above for unsecured loans. The fourth meaning of above, preposition. If you hear one sound above another, it is louder or clearer than the second one. Sample sentence. Then there was a woman's voice, rising shrilly above the barking. The fifth meaning of above, preposition. If someone is above you, they are in a higher social position than you or in a position of authority over you. Sample sentence. I married above myself, rich county people. Adverb. Above is also an adverb. Sample sentence. The police officers admitted beating the student, but said they were acting on orders from above. The sixth meaning of above, preposition. If you say that someone thinks they're above something, you mean that they act as if they are too good or important for it. Disapproval. Sample sentence. I am not above doing my own cleaning. The seventh meaning of above, preposition. If someone is above criticism or suspicion, they cannot be criticized or suspected because of their good qualities or their position. Sample sentence. He was a respected academic and above suspicion. The eighth meaning of above, preposition. If you value one person or thing above any other, you value them more or consider that they are more important. Sample sentence. His tendency to put the team above everything. Another usage of above. Don't use above in front of a number when you are talking about a quantity or number of things or people. For example, don't say, she had above 30 pairs of shoes. Say, she had over 30 pairs of shoes, or she had more than 30 pairs of shoes. Sample sentences. It cost over 3 million pounds. He saw more than 800 children there. The next entry, above the line promotion. Above the line promotions. Variable noun. Above the line promotion is the use of promotional methods that cannot be directly controlled by the company selling the goods or service, such as television or press advertising. Compare below the line promotion in business. Sample sentence. For maternity clothing retailers, most above-the-line promotion is conducted through focused sources, such as mother and baby magazines. The next entry, abracadabra. Abracadabra. A-B-R-A-C-A-D-A-B-R-A. Exclamation. Abracadabra is a word that someone says when they are performing a magic trick in order to make the magic happen. The next entry, abrade. A-B-R-A-D-E. Abrade. Abrase, abrading, abraded. Verb. To abrade something means to scrape or wear down its surface by rubbing it. Formal. Sample sentence. My skin was abraded and very tender. The next entry, abrasion. A-B-R-A-S-I-O-N. Abrasion. Abrasions. Countable noun. An abrasion is an area on a person's body where the skin has been scraped. Formal. Sample sentence. He had severe abrasions to his right cheek. The next entry, abrasive. A-B-R-A-S-I-V-E. Abrasive. The first meaning of abrasive, adjective. Someone who has an abrasive manner is unkind and rude. Sample sentence. His abrasive manner has won him an unenviable notoriety. His abrasive manner has won him an unenviable notoriety. Once more. His abrasive manner has won him an unenviable notoriety. An unenviable notoriety. An unenviable notoriety. An unenviable notoriety. The second meaning of abrasive, adjective. An abrasive substance is rough and can be used to clean hard surfaces. Sample sentence. A new all-purpose, non-abrasive cleaner. The next entry, abreast. A-B-R-E-A-S-T. Abreast. The first meaning of abreast, adverb. If people or things walk or move abreast, they are next to each other, side by side, and facing in the same direction. Sample sentence. The steep pavement was too narrow for them to walk abreast. The second meaning of abreast, phrase. If you are abreast of something or someone, you are level with them or in line with them. If you are abreast of someone or something, you are level with them or in line with them. Sample sentence. As he drew abreast of the man, he pretended to stumble. As he drew abreast of the man, he pretended to stumble. The third meaning of abreast, phrase. If you keep abreast of a subject, you know all the most recent facts about it. Sample sentence. He will be keeping abreast of the news. He will be keeping abreast of the news. The next entry, abridged. Abridged. A-B-R-I-D-G-E-D. Abridged. Adjective. An abridged book or play has been made shorter by removing some parts of it. Sample sentence. This is an abridged version of her new novel. An abridged version of her new novel. The next entry, abroad. A-B-R-O-A-D. Abroad. Adverb. If you go abroad, you go to a foreign country, usually one which is separated from the country where you live by an ocean or a sea. Sample sentences. I would love to go abroad this year, perhaps to the south of France. Public opposition here and abroad. Public opposition here and abroad. About 65% of its sales come from abroad. About 65% of its sales come from abroad. Synonyms of abroad. Adverb. Overseas. Her only relatives live overseas. Her only relatives live overseas. Away. Sophia was away on a business trip. Sophia was away on a business trip. The next entry, abrogate. A-B-R-O-G-A-T-E. Abrogate. Abrogates. Abrogating. Abrogated. Verb. If someone in a position of authority abrogates something, such as a law, agreement, or practice, they put an end to it. Formal. Sample sentence. The next Prime Minister could abrogate the treaty. The next Prime Minister could abrogate the treaty. Abrupt. A-B-R-U-P-T. Abrupt. An abrupt change or action is very sudden, often in a way which is unpleasant. Is the first meaning of abrupt. Sample sentence. Rosie's idyllic world came to an abrupt end when her parents' marriage broke up. Let's see if it's pronounced that way. I-D-Y-L-L-I-C is a good word to learn. Idyllic world came to an abrupt end when her parents' marriage broke up. Idyllic.
Idyllic.
Or in British English, idyllic. Idyllic. Or idyllic. When you describe something as idyllic, you mean that it is extremely pleasant, simple, and peaceful. Idyllic setting. Not as idyllic as he has imagined. So his idyllic world has come to an end. Back to our sentence. Rosie's idyllic world came to an abrupt end when her parents' marriage broke up. Rosie's idyllic world came to an abrupt end when her parents' marriage broke up. Abruptly. Adverb. Sample sentence. He stopped abruptly and looked my way. The second meaning of abrupt. Adjective. Someone who is abrupt speaks in a rather rude, unfriendly way. Sample sentences. He was abrupt to the point of rudeness. Cross was a little taken aback by her abrupt manner. Abruptly. Adverb. Good night, then, she said abruptly. Next entry, abs. A-B-S. abs. Abs are the same as abdominals. Informal. Sample sentence. Throughout the exercise, focus on keeping your abs tight. The next entry, abscess. 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 Abscesses. Countable noun. An abscess is a painful swelling containing pus. The next entry, abscond. 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 Absconds, absconding, absconded. If someone absconds from somewhere, such as a prison, they escape from it or leave it without permission. Formal. Sample sentences. He was ordered to appear the following day, but absconded. A dozen inmates have absconded from Forest Jail in the past year. A dozen inmates have absconded from Forest Jail in the past year. The second meaning of abscond. If someone absconds with something, they leave and take it with them, although it does not belong to them. Formal. Unfortunately, his partners were crooks and absconded with their funds. CROOK. Let's see how it's pronounced. Crook or crook. 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 Crook.
Crook.
Crook. Crook. A crook is a dishonest person or criminal, so no wonder his partners would abscond with the funds. Crook, or the soft inside part where you bend your elbow or knee. Crook, dishonest person or criminal. Crook. Crooked. Oh, that's a song from G-Dragon. Crook, abscond. A dozen inmates have absconded from Forest Jail in the past year. If someone absconds with something, they leave and take it with them, although it does not belong to them. Sample sentence. Unfortunately, his partners were crooks and absconded with their funds. Unfortunately, his partners were crooks and absconded with their funds. With the company funds. With the funds. Unfortunately, his partners were crooks and absconded with the funds. The next entry, abseil. 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 Abseils. Abseiling. Abseiled. Verb. To abseil down a cliff or rock face. To abseil down a cliff or rock face means to slide down it in a controlled way using a rope with your feet against the cliff or rock. Britain. In American, used rappel. 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 RAPPEL.
Repel.
Rappel. To rappel down a cliff or rock means to slide down in a controlled way using a rope with your feet against the cliff or rock. Rappel. To learn to rappel down a cliff or rappel down a rock. Rappel in American English and abseil in British English. The next entry, absence. 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 Absences. The first meaning of absence, variable noun, Someone's absence from a place is the fact that they are not there. Sample sentences. A bundle of letters which had arrived for me in my absence. Eleanor would later blame her mother-in-law for her husband's frequent absences. Eleanor is a girl's name. Eleanor, 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 Eleanor. Eleanor, Eleanor.
Eleanor.
Eleanor,
Eleanor.
Eleanor. Eleanor would later blame her mother-in-law for her husband's frequent absences. The second meaning of absence. Singular noun. The absence of something from a place is the fact that it is not there or does not exist. Sample sentences. The presence or absence of clouds can have an important impact on heat transfer. Transfer, if we're talking about its noun form. I'm expecting transfer. The verb is pronounced transfer.
Transfer.
The noun is pronounced transfer or transfer in British English.
Transfer.
Transfer. So transfer for the noun and transfer for the verb. Transfer. The presence or absence of clouds can have an important impact on heat transfer. In the absence of a will, the courts decide who the guardian is. Will is a good word to learn. Like a paper left by a let's see how Collins Dictionary define it. A will. A will is a document in which you declare what you want to happen to your money and property when you die. Like you have allocated your property to your wives, to your parents, to your sons and daughters, etc. The document to distribute your money and property when you die. A will. In the absence of a will, the courts decide who the guardian is. In the absence of a will, the courts decide who the guardian is. So the man died without leaving any will to make it clear what would happen to his money and property after he died. Synonyms of absence. Noun. Time off. She has hardly any time off for the last 4 years. She has hardly had any time off for the last 4 years. She has hardly had any time off for the last 4 years. Leave. Why don't you take a few days leave? Why don't you take a few days leave? Lack. Despite his lack of experience, he got the job. Despite his lack of experience, he got the job. Deficiency. They did blood tests on him for signs of vitamin deficiency. They did blood tests on him for signs of vitamin deficiency. Shortage. Vietnam is suffering from a food shortage. Vietnam is suffering from a food shortage. Want. W-A-N-T. Want. The men were daily becoming weaker from want of rest Another good word to learn, want. I'm sure most of us know what want means, but it has another meaning, which is the lack of something. The 11th meaning of want, singular noun. A want of something is a lack of it. Formal. A want of manners and charm is equivalent to a lack of manners and charm. The men were daily becoming weaker from want of rest. This is exactly our sentence. The men were daily becoming weaker from want of rest. They may have been working too hard without having enough rest, having enough sleep to have their body recovered and to have a thorough rest, a want of rest, a want of rest. The men were daily becoming weaker from want of rest. The next entry, absent, A-B-S-E-N-T, absent. Adjective. The first meaning of absent. If someone or something is absent from a place or a situation where they should be or where they usually are, they are not there. So if you're absent from your school, you're expected to be in the school, but you are not. Then you're absent from somewhere. Or when your family needs you to help them, but you're not there, then you're absent from that situation. So this is the end of page 4. Thank you very much.